Ever feel trapped by others' expectations, past mistakes, or labels that do not define who you are? Little secret, you can disappear. Not the disappearing act, but in a manner in which you can shed your past weight and re-emerge as the person you always wanted to be. This is not an escape. It's regaining your life and rewriting your story. All of us want a fresh start at times, but not many know how to go about it. At the end of this video, you will see the steps to finally let go of your old self and step into a new, purposeful life. Let's dive in. Why we long to disappear and reinvent ourselves. Why is it that so many fantasize about getting up and moving to another place and starting over? That's more than running from routine. It's a craving for freedom, a need to shake off the expectations, judgments, and limitations that weigh one down. Life throws so much at a person, creating layers of encumbrance that become confining and trapping one in roles never chosen. The psychologists call this identity lock, the feeling of being stuck in a version of ourselves that no longer fits. The desire to disappear may very often be a way to break free from that identity, to rediscover who we really are. Reinvention may literally be as easy as switching careers or a new city, but transformation, in its true sense, is much deeper. It is the reassessment of your values and of the kind of person you'd like to be. Take J.K. Rowling, for example, the story of a single mother on welfare who made it big as an author. She had to come out of her box and truly commit to her vision, leaving behind all that the world used to label her with and push her into. The lesson that we can take from her story is that transformation indeed begins with boldly rewriting our stories. Such a move changes everything. How to build new power, using the new personal story. And so, once you have decided to change your old identity into something new, then find the new narrative. The power of a story is immense. It shapes our beliefs, our self-image, and our actions. Psychologists call this narrative identity, a concept suggesting we all build personal stories that define us. And when we change that story, we change our lives. Think of it this way. Every story you tell yourself about who you are, where you come from, and what you can achieve changes your reality. So, why not make it a story that thrills? Your self-narrative is a story that liberates you from the destructive power of limiting beliefs in your life, or let it be a reminder and guide toward maximizing your potential. It's about reframing something that happened in the past so that it empowers you rather than letting it hold you back. The research also shows that individuals who change their stories to depict growth and resilience tend to have better well-being. Ask yourself, what story have I been telling myself, and am I holding myself back by it? In that response, you start creating a new narrative which will instead serve your dreams. Becoming invisible to rebuild. Once you redefine your personal story, it is now time to take practical steps to protect your journey. Going under the radar is not about vanishing from existence, but rather giving oneself some breathing room to grow without someone around and about to judge. A successful person knows the power of keeping a low profile, like when Steve Jobs retreats into his cave to think and reset before big decisions. This would prevent the person from being within the public eye. Thus, mistakes could be made, new ideas could be tried out, and focusing on goals would be achieved without worrying about the opinions of others. Maintaining a low profile during transformation encourages keeping oneself out of people's sight who might question, criticize, or discourage the new path. You don't need to blame every move. Keeping your privacy will give you room to experiment, grow, and evolve in your own stead. For instance, you can begin by posting less on social media or talking to people who lack vision or support. It is not secrecy, but freedom. How to quit the old habits and create new ones. Reinvention isn't necessarily a new mindset, but new habits. Habits are the building blocks of identity. So, to create an alternative life, you have to begin with changing things you do every day. Psychologists often say, you are what you repeatedly do. This means transforming your daily actions, no matter how small. It has one of the strongest concepts to be understood, known as neuroplasticity, the ability of the brain to reorganize itself by forming new connections. Consequently, you can retrain your brain in the development of new habits and patterns of thought. This isn't going to happen overnight, but with determination and practice, you can be freed from the routines that kept you down. First, select one habit you would like to change, an attitude that is no longer in line with your new self. Perhaps it's procrastination, self-doubt, or rampant endless scrolling on your phone. Replace it with something positive: journaling, reading, or practicing mindfulness. Research from Oxford University shows that mindfulness works to break old patterns, which makes it easier to adopt new, empowering routines. Developing a new support network. We often hear, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." In truly reinventing one's life, perhaps this could translate to surround oneself with a support system of people who are part of this new creation. Sometimes the most powerful act one can do in becoming free from an old definition is to get out of relationships that tie one to an outdated version of oneself. Take, for instance, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. When he decided to take his football career elsewhere to wrestling and eventually acting, he positioned himself with coaches, mentors, and peers who supported him along the path toward his new vision. His environment helped him transform and grow immensely. This is the power of supportive community. It affirms the beliefs and habits you'd need to get to your most heightened selves. The digital detox. In the digital world, hiding can also be a rebirth into a digital detox. We have become so accustomed to putting everything on social networks, and it keeps us in an old identity. If you are truly serious about change, perhaps you should abstain totally from social media, or at least reduce some of your activity there and drop some of those accounts. You do not need to delete all your accounts, just back off and focus more on real life and experience. According to studies, people who take regular breaks from social media tend to be more mentally clear and have lower stress levels. This social media detox isn't necessarily the best idea at first, but the freedom one finds is quite significant. The easier it gets to focus on who you want to be when you're offline, since you worry much less about what others' opinions are online. Embracing the process of letting go. The greatest difficult act of disappearance and transformation is the letting go of the familiar. We're attached to the past, even if it doesn't serve us anymore. However, attachment to old relationships, regrets, or memories locks people in place. Psychologists call this attachment, and it's one of the biggest obstacles to transformation. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It's just a recognition of the truth that the past was what it was, and therefore, you move on. Now, one of the practical implementations of visualization is envisioning yourself letting go of the various aspects of your life, if they do not fit the real you as you are becoming to be. It is basically letting yourself free from the dungeon of the past so you can build a future you feel is right. The first step in changing your life. Change is a process. It starts with a single mighty decision to change. Disappearing and reappearing in a new costume isn't about leaving the world behind. It's about standing away from what no longer serves you. Are you ready to rewrite your story? Ready to let go, find new habits, a new community, and a new way of being? Your journey to transformation starts here. Take that first step and watch as the path unfolds before you. If you are inspired by this video, then just give this video a big thumbs up and share it with a person who might need a new beginning. Subscribe to Brain Boost to unlock your potential. You will turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Thanks to all of you guys for joining me on this journey. Remember, your change starts today. See you in the next video.